Hello and welcome to Pearl Magazine in our new time slot. Tonight we look at how tying the knot amid the pandemic gives new meaning to the vow for better or for worse. But first, to look at how more than 1 million people living below the poverty line in Hong Kong are coping with their situation. As the pandemic trudges on, NGOs say the struggle has become worse for the poor and many are losing hope. Zella Chin finds out what can be done to help them make ends meet and keep their hope alive.
On a drizzly Tuesday afternoon, Zi and her 13-year-old daughter are heading home.
I'm from Hebei, China. I gave birth to my daughter in 2007, and when she was a month old, we came to Hong Kong.
Zi and her Hong Kong husband divorced, and now she's raising her daughter alone. They live in a 50-square-foot subdivided flat in Kwai Chung. Zi had a part-time job washing dishes at a restaurant, but she had to quit at the beginning of the year to stay home and watch her daughter, whose school closed because of the coronavirus pandemic. The extended time spent in their small flat caused many arguments.
First here, our relationship is not so good. I rarely let her go out because I'm afraid that she will get infected. And we don't have enough face masks. And you don't want to go out every day and waste a face mask, right?
How many face masks do you have?
I have a few at home, right here, adult and child. Just these, around 10 something.
Her daughter attended online classes from their home.
I do not have any computer, so I use my phone to do my study. But the screen is too small. I will ask my teacher something that I cannot listen carefully on my lesson. So I can only ask my teacher by the WhatsApp, but my teacher seldom look at their phone.
Zi's biggest disappointment is that her daughter's grades have dropped, and she's no longer in the accelerated class in the new school year.
I can't help her. Prices of goods are inflated, and not much money for her tutoring. I can't help, because there's not enough money even for food.
Zi and her daughter get about $7,400 a month in government subsidies. About $4,500 goes to rent and utilities, and about $2,900 for food and other expenses. Since the coronavirus pandemic, the higher prices of some food have stretched her tight budget.
There is this. The church gave it to me. It is very good. And this.
So Zi supplements by getting food handouts from a church in her neighborhood.
Some convenience store meals. I've got 6 or 7 boxes. Enough for 2-3 days. One day, 2 boxes. This is enough for me and my daughter because there is a lot of rice.
And Zi also volunteers to hand out food. Many members of this congregation, like Zi, are underprivileged. This church used to give free dinner to the congregation every Friday evening. Since the coronavirus pandemic, it gives food handouts twice a week instead.
Because the pandemic is bigger, many have lost work, so more and more people come. We have a lot more unemployed people. We encountered a lot of low-wage earners from restaurants. Sometimes they work 1 or 2 days a week.
The pandemic has lasted 9 months so far. NGOs say more and more poor people need help. Applications for social welfare, or CSSA, for the unemployed rose nearly 250% compared with last year.
Susanna Ma leads the Hong Kong Church Network for the Poor, which has around 700 partners, including churches, schools, and businesses. Susanna says because the pandemic has lasted for so long, many poor people don't see any hope.
For a lot of people who are poor, they want to maintain their dignity. Even though they are poor, they still want to try to take care of themselves, try to make ends meet, even maybe only having one meal a day. They still want to try and make it work for themselves. But things are so tough now. They may not even have that one meal per day. So they have to come out and seek support.
In Kwaichong, 61-year-old Ah Chun used to drive a taxi for a living.
The car owner rented the car and a place for me to live. In the end, because of problems with the car rental, we didn't get along so well. From June 2016, I stopped renting his car. And he took back the place, and I couldn't rent somewhere else because I had no income, so I went everywhere.
He's been homeless for nearly 4 years. He often stays at this 24-hour fast food restaurant.
When there's less people here, then I can sleep. Sometimes I put my head down to sleep. Sometimes I lie on the benches.
And he also gets food here.
Other people's leftovers like French fries, chicken nuggets. Some customers are nice. They see you and help you buy a burger.
In the worst days of the COVID-19 pandemic, dine-in services ended at 6 at night.
It can only do takeaway and can't dine in. So the fast food restaurant doesn't allow you to come in and sit down.
Ah Chun couldn't wash a leg infection properly when the public shower facilities closed.
Because you couldn't shower. When you don't shower, there are germs and it got infected.
He used to spend his days at the public library going online to apply for jobs. But the library was often closed during the pandemic, making it difficult for him to look for a job.
I worried that I didn't have work to do, and I was worried that I didn't have a place to live. Because you must stabilize yourself. And first, you must have a job. At least if you have a job, you can take care of your meals. The other is a place to live.
The pandemic added to the difficulties of his life.
Actually, I'm very depressed during these many years. I felt that it wasn't the life I wanted. How did it become this lifestyle? I couldn't explain it. Maybe it's the environment or maybe problems at home, and I couldn't fix it, and I couldn't find someone to help me.
Then one day in April, he met one of Susanna's church partners.
This church helped me find a job. I'm very grateful and helped me a lot. At first, they gave me resources and let me have a shower and gave me some clothes.
Ah Chun has turned his life around. He works as a security guard now and lives in a hostel in Jimsa-Choi. And he hopes to develop a closer relationship with his daughter because he wasn't around much when she was growing up.
I hope I can see my daughter more often. She's not always free. She's also a churchgoer. It's almost like I need to make an appointment with her. But during my homeless days, she and her boyfriend were very supportive. And I feel like I owe her.
Over in Cheonsa 1, this 52-year-old man is afraid of losing his job and not being able to provide for his family. It's 11:30 at night and Mahmoud is just beginning his shift. He needs to load a truck with boxes of fruits and vegetables and deliver them to wet markets before they open in the morning.
Some are 30-something kilos, even 40 kilos, 10-plus kilos, and even a few kilos. It depends on what they are. Potatoes, turnips are heavy, and winter melon, these are heavy.
The job is stressful.
Because I need to deliver goods on time, I can't be late. If I'm late, my boss would tell me off. Why are you late? I have to be careful with the produce. I can't damage the foam. If it's damaged, the boss would dock my pay.
And he worries about getting injured.
Sometimes it rains, and when it rains, I still need to work. Sometimes if I'm not careful, I slip. See that truck? It's very high. So we try to be careful. Drop the ramp and then the person steps off. And then raise the ramp to get back on the truck.
Earlier in the evening, Mahmoud had dinner with his wife, son, and granddaughter. It's a special night. They are having meat for dinner. Since the pandemic began, the family only eats meat twice a week.
Before, every meal had meat. Now we don't have. We eat vegetarian because we don't have enough money and the meat is expensive. That's why we can't afford it.
Mahmoud immigrated from Pakistan to Hong Kong when he was 16 years old. He's lived in Hong Kong almost all his life, and this period has been very difficult. Before he found the freelance delivery job, he made only $5,000 a month as a substitute truck driver at the beginning of the pandemic. Relatives helped pay for the family's expenses, such as $2,000 rent for government housing.
Yes, it's tough, very tough, because we haven't experienced it so tough. This time is really tough. Later on, we don't know what will happen.
His family prays that the pandemic would end soon.
In one day, we pray 5 times. Every time, we pray to Allah and hope this tough time will quickly pass.
If the pandemic lasts for a couple years, I expect there'll be more poor people in the city. If more people are willing to lend a helping hand to care for people in the city, I think we can all come out strong from this pandemic.
After the break, we take a look at how soon-to-be married couples are coping with their ever-changing wedding plans because of the pandemic. Stay with us. Welcome back. Some people spend their whole life searching for the right partner, and many dream of their perfect wedding. But getting married during a pandemic can crush those dreams, as couples have to compromise on location, guests, and other things to keep their guests safe and follow regulations. We take a look at how some couples and wedding businesses are coping with a challenge.
Carmen and Charlie have been dating each other for 10 years. The couple finally decided in March last year to tie the knot. In Chinese culture, 2020 is a leap year in the luni-solar calendar, which means it's a good year to get hitched. So they scheduled the wedding for May 2020.
The first time she was in a wedding gown was when we took wedding photos. She was pretty.
Pre-wedding, we were still quite relaxed. That was December last year. Nothing happened yet. I just thought the makeup was fine and we were looking forward to seeing the photos.
Everything began to turn south when the novel coronavirus became a pandemic at the beginning of the year. The restaurant they had booked a year ago for the banquet went under. Carmen turned to a wedding planner for help. Carmen says the original plan was to invite about 300 guests to have a grand banquet with more than 20 tables. Since the restaurant closed, they decided to scale it down to 100. But still, it's not easy finding the right place.
I had to find a new restaurant again and again. My mind went blank for hours. I was really upset.
The wedding plan was complicated with more unexpected difficulties. With just 3 weeks before the wedding day, Carmen was still looking for an available venue. Luckily, her friends came to the rescue.
They would research and find some restaurants that could accommodate 100 people and were available for booking. It's really touching that they helped me think about many things because I was really upset and I was crying. And then they brought me tears of joy.
有2個患者上星期六曾經到愉景灣參加婚宴，而新郎同埋黃族。
At the beginning of the virus outbreak, there was a cluster of infections linked to a wedding ceremony. Some of the guests and even the groom tested positive for COVID-19. A wedding planner says that got other couples worried.
If the SARS was a magnitude 5 earthquake, this time we are experiencing a magnitude 10 tsunami. We didn't see a lot of rescheduling during SARS, but about 30 to 40% cancelled. Now we are talking about 90% of bookings in February to April were cancelled.
While 2020 was supposed to be an auspicious year for getting married, Tim and Wendy had to reschedule theirs due to the pandemic. They've been together for 5 years, and the plan was to have a wedding ceremony in Australia and have photos taken there as well. But now they had to make do with Hong Kong.
Sheko is a relaxing place. It has everything we like. Australia has blue sky, white cloud, grassland, and sandy beaches. Here we have all these elements too.
The main reason they wanted to take the wedding photos in Australia was because they both liked a certain type of minivan there. Luckily, they found a similar model here in Hong Kong.
It's a decoration, a minivan that we both like. Before we got together, she once gave me a present. It was a souvenir. The pattern was this minivan. We arranged a van which is exactly the same for the photos in Australia. But now we are glad we found this replacement. Even though we can't go, we had what we wanted in Hong Kong.
Finally, the big day had arrived.
We thought we could have got married in March. Now, 1 month after, we can eventually do this. It is a relief because there is nothing more that I need to worry about. Just let it be, we can work it out.
When the coronavirus became a global pandemic earlier this year, this couple knew they'd have to give up their dream wedding after Australia closed its borders.
Now we are having the wedding in Hong Kong. It does feel different. Of course, it can't be as perfect as the Australian version, but we accept it. We both think that health should be the first priority.
Wedding manager Michelle is taking care of the hygiene of the venue as well as the number of guests, just in case they violate the social distancing rules.
Every guest and the couple need to wear a mask and sanitize their hands. Other staff will do the same.
Tim and Wendy had their wedding in April. At that time, the social distancing rules hadn't been lifted. Wedding ceremonies were limited to 20 guests. The guest list was difficult to finalize. The other couple, Carmen and Charlie, have finally found a venue for their wedding.
It's been a very hard journey.
Very hard. The pandemic had chosen us. So no matter what happens, the only thing we can do is go ahead. And it's this crisis that makes our wedding so special. This is unique.
As the epidemic gradually got under control, Carmen and Charlie finally had their wedding date confirmed. They've been preparing for the big day for over a year. It's the final fitting of Carmen's dress. Both of them are excited.
That day is finally coming. We've been waiting so long. I want everything to be fine tomorrow.
We have been through so many challenges. We will always remember this day.
Yesterday, a friend reminded me of the meaning of a wedding. All the things we're concerned about are the process of the ceremony. But what the guests expect to see isn't my beautiful dress or decorations. They want to see that we love each other.
Health declaration forms filled, guests counted, live streaming ready. The couple's wedding amid the pandemic officially gets underway.
現在開始，我承諾從今以後，無論環境順逆、富裕清貧、疾病健康，我定必永遠愛你、珍惜你。
I understand that it's not easy for every one of you to come here today. On one hand, the epidemic is threatening Hong Kong and the rest of the world. On the other hand, the recent social movement has caused conflicts among us.
The guests who witnessed this wedding include not only the 50 at the scene, but also some standing outside watching the live stream.
I don't think it's important how many people are coming to the wedding. The most important thing is that we do feel their love. I've always dreamt about how beautiful or special I would be on my big day. But when I look back, the first thing I'll remember is how hard we tried to get there. We've been through a lot. As long as we're together, we'll make it through no matter what happens. That's our show for this week. Next week, recovering COVID patients tell their story, and fortune tellers give us something to look forward to. Thanks for joining us. Good night.